Are you president?
Ladies, gentlemen, both and neither. There's a reason I have been terrified of this panel. I'm both terrified and impressed. I'm impressed. How the fuck do you know that?
I will tell you my source later.
I didn't just drew you a picture. Or, just hurry up and do it. Dude, you suck.
Love you though.
I do.
I can't tell the Atlanta story. The Atlanta story may actually get me in trouble, though. I don't think the statute of limitations is run out on the Atlanta. Hold on.
Too late, I'm already drunk.
You're related for reality. Why? This was recommended by Brucey Badger.
Sigma, did you take your shot? The next question for Sigma. Sigma, did you ever find the G spot?
Oh my god, I forgot this existed. Oh my god.
You think I was going to start here? Where you did a podcast?
I did a podcast?
How the fuck do you know that?
I'm sick of the wolf. I'm fucking hot. Deal with it.
Too late, I'm already drunk.
Let's go ahead and kill Alkali because he's been yearning for death for years.
It's online. It's fair game.
Never been at this panel before. If you've never been at this panel before, this is Sloshing for Answers. Music will turn off in a second. This is Sloshing for Answers. This is a brainchild of mine, all the way out from Motor City. Done it for several years. You kind of got a little bit of a recap of what has been happening over the years and how it started. I went ahead and I did several just realizing. There we go. This has been something that has been a brainchild of mine for a while. I've been doing this for several years. It's been an absolute honor that Motor City Burcon took me in, let alone the fact that they wanted me to keep being a part of this panel too. Bring it out here. When I submitted this, it was kind of on a whim of, hey, maybe I'll go ahead and come to this panel, come out here to AnthrOhio. Lo and behold, status is me, and went ahead and told me, hey, your panel is approved. And I had less than a month to wrap this all together. Normally I take about a year between each of these. And now here I am a month later, and I can't do anything other than thank AnthrOhio for allowing me to do this, and the fact that I've got so many people here. So, as the quote says down there, if it's online, it's fair game. Actually, the person that was on that video that you heard, that was Yahve. The person who's currently covering up themselves and hiding over there in the front corner. The intention behind this panel is I go ahead, I do a deep dive on any of the guests that I bring in. They're going to be heard blind. They have zero idea what the questions are going to be asked. I did an internet deep dive on them, and as it was said, if I found it online, it is fair game. They had no idea. They gave me a few of their social medias. I went off their Twitter, and 2 social medias of their choice. From there, if I found it from there, then I can use it as info. I cannot use the fact that, I know who, their mom is, I know who their friends are. But if I found it from those on initial social medias, now I can use it. So the way that this normally works is they do a drink, or quarter shot, we're trying to get you tipsy, not dead. They then get asked the question, and they ultimately have an option. Either they can answer it, or they can take what we refer to as a scapegoat, meaning they can pass the question, but in order to do that, it is a punishment, and they only have a limited number of those that they can take. So in this case, the guest artist that I bring up is going to be 5 questions, 2 scapegoats. The special guest, Yahve, is going to be 10 questions, 3 scapegoats. And this also is charity capable. So if you wanted to donate this, as we all know, this is going to the Ohio Network Education, if I'm remembering that correctly. One is one way that I can actually remember that. You can donate at any time. We should be getting someone here to be able to help that out. Yahve, we did get someone, or they're on the way?
They were looking for someone.
They're looking for someone. So if you are looking to donate and get in on some of the fun here, this is how you do it. Anytime that you donate any amount, I do have some trinkets here on the front table. You can snag one of those. Once that donation person gets here, we will then announce that so that can happen. Just for the love of God, be careful of the camera that we got out there up front. And if you go ahead and say if you donate a substantial amount, which I will leave to that donation person, you can go ahead and donate a scapegoat exempt question, meaning there's a cameras off portion after this where I then take the fursuit head off. This is actually broadcast live right now on YouTube. So if you needed to leave, you want to catch us up, you want to show your friends everything that you saw here, hopefully this is a positive experience to actually do that. But then my head comes off. Scapegoat questions get answered first because we want to, thank those that are donating. Answer those questions first, and then open up to the audience where anyone in the audience can ask any question to any of the panelists that are up here. Yahve, my guest artist, and if you're me, but that's not the point. So I want to go ahead and bring up our guest artist here, Presto Bunny. Come on up here, Yahve. I just said not to trip over with what you know, and that's the direction we go. Sorry. This camera, or this mic, yes, it is loud. You don't trip, my dude.
I can't see! I am a blind bunny. Good? Yeah, a little bit. You guys able to hear us out there pretty good? Just we can put those in the back row. So, as we talked about, we mentioned that it is, this one's for me. I might not be getting questions asked to me, but that does not mean that I can't have my own little fun with this. But, you... Make sure it's not getting super wet. Wow, that was bad. It's terribly convenient. Can someone grab me a plastic cup? I don't know. Is there a... No, there's not a water fountain or a water jug back here. If you grab them, that'd be fantastic. So, I've got a straw here. This way you can still do it in the suit. Don't worry, I will be doing it.
I'll probably taking off my suit in a little bit.
You want me to do that?
I'm going to take off my suit.
Okay.
I put 3 fans in here, and it still gets ridiculously hot very quickly.
Suit heads get very, very hot very, very quick.
I love it. I love what I've done with it, but as a first head, I have some changes I'll make later.
Yeah. So, a little bit about Presto. This is what I initially knew about him at the start. As we mentioned, 5 questions, 2 scapegoats. They are an artist, they are a suit maker, because you ended up making Presto yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm not really known as a suit maker.
That is a fat lie, because I went ahead and the stuff that I've seen, there's some stuff that you have done. And if you've made your own, you technically fall into that category, myself included.
That's fair.
I will 1,000% admit that.
I made Presto here, and I made somebody who's not here right now, February, and a tail. And that's about all I've made. More importantly, I draw and I animate and I do YouTube streams.
Yeah, that might be true, but you also are forgetting the part that you're also a little bit of a programmer and a coder.
Yeah, I am.
So you gave me your Twitter, your TikTok, and YouTube. So we're going to go with that first question. That's all right.
Yay!
Again, I'm doing the alcohol content.
There, Jim! You did, Jim.
And of course, I go ahead and make myself be the one that's doing it.
Here, I have hands.
I have hands! Alright, so go ahead, do your first drink. And now, our first question for you. I made sure to move the table up so you can see it a little bit. So from that, I ended up finding your old DeviantArt account.
That is very old. I don't even touch that anymore.
Yeah, I'm very aware. I also ended up finding your old sprites.inc.co or spritesInc.co.uk, which, why don't you tell me more about the Synchro project? Because from a lot of comments that I saw in there, you had offered to do various redesigns of Mega Man characters in there. It seemed like it was more so like an indie community of Mega Man fans that wanted to do Mega Man modifications, updates, and there were several instances where you're like, hey, I'm interested in doing some of the art assets with it. And that very far image there, you can probably recognize it. That was one of the art pieces that you had done and put up on DeviantArt. That's actually then a screen cap from your YouTube of the demo of the mod that you did on.
Believe it or not, it's not a mod.
It was not a mod.
It was a fan game.
Oh, that's right. That was a fan game. I swear, I only had one drink. And then actually, your account is actually at the very bottom there. But from that, you mentioned that you had designing and coding experience specifically in Game Maker, Multimedia Fusion, and Game Salad. And I think in your Twitter, I also saw that you have some endeavors currently in the works regarding coding and designing. Where are you currently at in actually all that?
So believe it or not, most of my programming stuff I did that in high school. I don't really touch it much anymore. I'm very rusty. I learned HTML right before I graduated, and then I thought I'd do something with it, and then I just didn't end up doing it. Eventually, I'll come back to it one of these days. As for the design up there, I actually recently did a live stream where we redesigned all of my designs.
Oh!
Yeah.
Because the old account said that you had not done digital. You do digital now?
I do lots of digital now. I don't even really touch my sketchbooks much anymore unless I'm really bored.
No, this was something that really fascinated me because there is a big Mega Man fan base. I did not realize it was this deep.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. So you're not doing any of the programming anymore. So the designing and coding experience there really doesn't super apply on this, but I do want to follow up with that then. What's the program that you're using now for your digital art?
For my digital art, I use Krita. It's made by it's a program called Krita. K-R-I-T-A. It's made by for furries, and for everybody. It's open source, and I use it all the time.
Okay, nice. Yeah, just because I know most people are using Adobe, and
I didn't learn Adobe.
well, Adobe sometimes is tricky to learn, but also I think they're subscription based now. So now you're kind of sunken. I saw someone nodding in the back. Did they change that?
It's still subscription based.
Okay. But I know that when they did release it, that was probably like one of the biggest complaints about it. But whether or not that changes in the future, they decide to correct that. Who knows? I'm not an artist. I'm just someone that likes to. I just like to torture people through my internet deep dives.
But as far as the fan game went, it kind of died off. A lot of the old assets and programs I was using, I didn't have my own computer at the time. I was using my mother's. And
okay, so what other content did you store on there?
Not a lot, honestly.
Okay.
Schoolwork mostly.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm being completely honest.
That voice acting that I just did there actually is a foreshadowing to a question later on. Not for you, though.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I do have a little bit of voice acting.
Oh, yeah. Yahve's giving me the biggest head tilt ever.
Oh, boy.
I didn't do that. Oh, that was alcohol. Oh, really? I ain't dead. Why not handling or figuring out how to handle that in my own head, do another shot.
Oh boy.
Yeah, pour. Not the economic standpoint, the actual, here. You got it over here?
Right.
And if the audio on my live capture actually ends up catching room audio, it's actually coming from the room next door, which everyone here knows. I think they're about to set up or in.
The rave started soon.
Yeah, the rave's going to start soon, so you might hear some random movements in the back. So you did your drink there?
Yes, I did.
Cool. Let's move on to that next question then. I see everyone has an edgelord moment. How'd you end up getting to this stage? Because that's your Facebook.
That is a very old Facebook. Once again, I don't use it.
Yeah, most people don't use their Facebook.
As far as that looks like...
Because in there, I know your full name.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
You can use my middle name if you want, but...
No, I'm just there. I'm not trying to, dox you on the internet.
That'd be great if you didn't.
Yeah, no. The point of this is not to dox you. It's to have some fun with it by seeing how deep the rabbit hole goes if we're going to make an Alice in Wonderland reference.
Oh boy.
But the reason why I mentioned edgelord is because that is very, let us say, the emo style of hair sweep.
Alright,
So what's this backstory? You know, it looks like you're paying homage to, this sort of style. Like, what was the story behind this part of your life?
So, as far as the drawing goes, I used to fill up a sketchbook every single month for at least 6 or 7 years. And to go along with that, I started to grow my hair out. And to match that, first I started out with a dragon as my persona.
Okay.
And then I started to find myself and figure out, I feel more like a cat. And that's the cat I've been using ever since. But the whole science behind the hair is based on prisms. But because when light shoots through a prism, prisms appear white, right? When the light goes through, you get 2 rainbows, possibly even 3. So what I ended up doing with that, the hair was rainbow colored, the tail was rainbow colored. That's for the style there. I didn't know what I was doing with the hair. I just wanted to match it.
Because this is not obviously directly involved, but you did within the formal part because it looks like that character or that version of you, you mentioned it when we talked about it, it's actually pulling the tablecloth in that bottom left corner of that promo poster.
Yes, yep. So that is my main persona, used by my main name, Gavin, and the suit was supposed to be done back May 5th. I've had this character since 2012, so it's really personal to me, so I didn't want to work on it because I was worried I'd mess it up and then I'd hate the character. So I commissioned it out, and I've had it paid off for 1.5 years, and we're still waiting, but I'm sure it'll get done here soon. It'll get done like a day. Yeah, that would be that.
So, for yourself another partial group building. That's good. Harmony. Let's look at what is our third question, which is a tradition that I actually have on panel, which is referred to Spitfire. You might be familiar with this, because I think you've seen my panel before.
I've seen it one time.
Which one was that?
MCFC last year.
Is that the No You edition?
That was the No You edition.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I enjoyed that, but I figured there was something else to it.
Okay, so the No You edition of the panel that I do every few years, I'm the one that gets interviewed. The tables get flipped. I bring on my old panelists and they do deep dive on me, and I have no idea what's going on with this. So it is both a love-hate relationship with that version of the panel. So you saw a lot of weird stuff that got brought up there.
It ended up inspiring a drawing, which you then looked at and just went, "Oh, I love people," and wandered off to go get out of suit.
Yeah, I was so tired then, but you're gonna have to show me that again and jog my memory. It's a lot of good stuff.
You got turned into a sticker with me in status. I'll have to show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you later.
Yes. So how Spitfire works is that essentially it's quick, non-thinking questions. And Spitfire is just really quick. So you already did it there. Non-thinking questions, you want to try to make these as quick as you can. You can use a scapegoat, which a scapegoat on this one, for you is just to be another mini shot, or if you don't want to do that, we have, what is it, jalapenos chilling out over here? Right out there?
I got 5 jalapenos and 5 habaneros.
Yep, so if you don't want to do that, they can opt for a hot pepper if you want to be particularly angry to your snack track. That's your problem, not mine. But then if you do take a scapegoat that still counts towards your total, remember, you got 2, so far you're doing good here. So, ready to go through all this?
Yeah.
I want you to go ahead and look at me on this, not at that.
Okay.
Because I didn't go through and prompt this properly, so we go one at a time. First one, who's your local fur crush? Someone that is from your home state only.
From my home state?
Yes, if I remember correctly, it's Indiana. Or am I wrong?
No, I am local to Ohio.
Oh, you are local to Ohio?
Yep.
Okay, so I ended up copy pasting that one wrong off of here. So, your home state, who's your fur crush? Local.
Don't really have one at the moment.
I said non-picky.
Huh?
Okay, give me something. Or maybe your favorite local fur.
Favorite local fur? Probably Karmic Stardust.
Okay, no, do not look that way. Who's your national fur crush? Someone from the U.S., but not in your home state.
Probably Purple is fine.
Okay, and then an international fur crush, someone who is not in the USA. At least to the best of your knowledge.
I'd have to say Cosmic.
Say Cosmic?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck Mary Kill this way.
I would marry Karmic, fuck Marvel, and I guess I'd have to kill Cosmic. I wouldn't want to even do that.
And now since I've done this for a while, I started working on the legacy editions of this series. So we have the Sloshing Francis legacy edition of that, which I always do the last 3 special guests, which in this case would be AnthrOhio, Status, and me, Bumpable Kill.
I would.
I hate that this is a legacy now, but I also love it. It's a love-hate relationship.
That's hard. I like all 3 of you.
Exactly. You have to kill one of us and fucking have the police for the one that killed me.
Sorry, you can't. I would probably. I'd probably marry you.
Okay. Safe option.
I would fuck Alkali, and I guess I'd have to kill Status. But once again, I'd probably switch and flip and flop between Alkali and Status. I don't know.
So it's like marry me, we're killing Status and fucking Alkali.
Yeah, I suppose, yes.
I think you might be one of the handful of people on this panel that has not killed Alkali. Well, from that teaser at the very beginning, man doesn't make the joke is that we kill Alkali because he's been looking for death for years. Pandez marked him for death. Boozy marked him for death. Status, I think, marked him for death too. Like he's on the chopping block every time.
Well, I can't mark him for death because he was half the reason my mother started to try and accept me in the furry family. I showed her the comedy, and she just loved it.
Okay, you can't see because obviously I'm sitting like borderline, like that's genuinely sweet. I'll have to put that and send it to her. Wait, that's excellent. I absolutely love it.
She's still not perfect, but she's getting there.
Hey, next thing we need to do is get her a Sona.
Maybe.
One of us.
She'll want watch this later and she'll just like shake her head at me. I
That's
know
not bad. That's shame on you, the song on your cow. Look over there. Last one is a tradition that I always do, is we're doing Fuck, Marry, Kill traditional, we're doing Alkaline Pandas and Yahve. Yeah, I heard no in the back. I might not have seen it because of my line of sight, but I definitely heard it through all this phone.
Oh boy. Alright, I guess we're going to kill Kage. Once again. I like all three of them again. It's one. Oh, this is tough.
That's all I like this game.
I just. Okay. I guess I will kill Kage, fuck Alkali again, I guess I'll marry Pandas.
And then it's funny because everyone that's on the traditional list, as well as most of the other panelists I've ever had, they've also said that they would marry Pandas because they'd be like the best partner ever because they'd just be the funnest relationship ever, that is the king of comedy. I see that this tradition is getting way too easy. I'm going to change it up.
Flip some people around.
Good.
Stay. The biggest blind spot is also dangerous and knock stuff over, so I'm like intentionally keeping the distance.
Okay.
So successfully made it through Spitfire. We're going to move on next round, so please, everyone, give Presto a round of applause so far for making it this far and not taking the scapegoat. I have not yet had anyone take a scapegoat as a part of this panel, which tells me that I need to step up my game. If I had more than a one, I might have more on you. Just keep in mind, go next. Pour yourself another shot here. And again, I'm watching your game tape because there was one panel that I did. It's actually, I think it was Alkali's panel that I ended up doing. I was not the one that was supposed to be taking drinks. He kept passing me tequila. I got blackout drunk.
That's not good.
That's only happened twice in my life. Yes, twice in my life. That is the only one where I blacked out and something happened afterward. The other one I just passed out. Not as interesting. But yeah, I learned that lesson after that con. Never again. So you took your drink, right?
I did.
All right. We're going to go and move on to that next one here. You opened your mouth a little bit too much during our Discord call.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you actually ended up submitting some art assets to a Tekken game, or at least it was an asset proposal. Why don't you tell that story?
Alright. I was a senior in high school, and I took up a few different interesting areas of the internet, and I decided, why not? There's this thing in Japan where they will pay you to submit ideas and assets for Namco. And I love Pac-Man, so I thought, well, what's the worst they could give me? And they gave me Tekken. And you're lucky that the NDA expired on this one not too long ago, believe it or not.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So I proposed a spin-off for Tekken, specifically one involving a rhythmatic fighting game following a more comedic story. This got far enough along to the point where we had our assets drawn, we had a couple of animation rigs ready to go, and when we pitched it, it was basically you pick your character, they go through an entire fighting game story arcade, and when you got to the actual fighting bit, it was all rhythmatically fighting, and they'd be fighting over minute things like dinner. Things like dinner rolls, stuff like parking spaces.
That's definitely not like Japanese arcade game vibes.
Tekken's known for their fighting games, and I love fighting games, but I figured it'd be more fun. It got far enough along, but they said it wasn't where they wanted to go with Tekken, so I got dropped. I got paid, I think, $1,000 or so for it.
How long ago was this?
This has got to be at least 5 years ago. 5 to 6 years ago, and then after we finished that up, they decided to take the model rigs we used and the test animation and finish it up, polish it up, and it became an advertisement for Tekken 7. Yeah, I was happy they used it, but I was also like, damn, there goes my foot in the door.
Yeah. Well, is it anything where there's like any remnants left where like if you need to take that and be like, hey, like here's the original art files that I have. This is what it turned into. They literally just did not give us like any credit.
They had to take all the assets. That was part of the contract. But Tekken 8 has some of the assets. Tekken 8 has some of it in the backgrounds. You can notice little characters fighting in the backgrounds, and they're the exact shots that we proposed.
What was the, out of curiosity, what was the specific asset? Because if there's anyone that comes across this in the future or anyone here that is a fighting game fan.
That is part of the NDA, I can't say.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. And that's one of those things that part of this, like, because I'm not going to dox anyone, you know, and if it breaks NDA stuff, I mean, I'm not about to break an NDA.
All I can say is city streetscapes, look at the background, look for some cars. Have fun with that.
Hey, I appreciate you being able to give us that, because kind of like how there was in the teaser that I had with Bootsy, there's an Atlanta story that was actually prompted, I think by, it was his wife, gave me the prompt for that story, and Bootsy was terrified, he's like, it's Cam's story. I can't say that story. It's still within statute of limitations for legal shit. I can't say a damn thing.
Luckily, that's like the only thing that I can't say.
Yeah. And I told him in that situation where I was just like, no, if it falls under that, like, I'm not about to cause trouble, but he did agree to, if the cameras were off, he would tell the story. So we still technically briefly touched on it, but that was a fun one to touch on. But that's going to like NDA stuff. Like, I'm not about to bring it.
I get asked about it all the time. Whenever I bring it up, everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to ask about it." And my only answer is, "I can't. Sorry."
Sucks to suck, but sorry. Totally understandable. So we got one last question for you. Pour yourself that additional drink right there. I was like, you can still look straight. Probably better than me. Because I poured half a beer and made the biggest party foul in the world. Alright, we're on for our last question. And if I see where the mouse is, there we go. This one was provided by Status.
Yep.
Karmic 1.0 and 2.0. All he really told me was to ask about it, and I think it was something to the effect of the first gen version of it was not the hottest version, you know, best work that you might have done, but you have since improved since then. And I'm also using this as ammunition to support my statement about being a maker for fursuits, because you've obviously done it at least, what, 3 times then? You would have Karmic 1.0, this, and 1.0?
2. Believe it or not, so here's how this story goes. The G.O.H sitting in the front row there.
Stand up and turn around for the audience, my name. Or dude, go.
That is Karmic Stardust 3.0. I originally saw Status here at AO a couple of years back, and I wanted to get up on stage. I felt like it'd be fun. And I started talking Status, and we had it off. It was pretty fun. And I noticed she had a suit that she made, and I asked her, "Hey, would you be willing to make another suit and give Karmic a try?" Because he really wanted a suit. Couldn't stop bugging me for it. I bought foam for it, but I didn't have the drive to make it yet. And I sent Status, started making it. It got and then stopped. And then we didn't hear for a couple months, and then oh shoot, what was it? For Reality, I believe. It was the last year for Reality. We ended up going and picking up 1.0. That is not 1.0. That is 2.0. 1.0 was rushed and finished in a week, and cried afterwards. He was very distraught and sad. And to Status's benefit, she went back and made 2.0. And 2.0 is lovely. Anybody can wear it. It's a hat on top. The back is completely like flat, just lays there. The front's all poofy. I love the way the suit is, but its demolition is not great.
What would you say with that was probably the biggest lesson that you learned when you were doing that?
Okay, so my biggest lesson was 1, do a little bit more research too. Take your time, and the biggest lesson I learned is how to sew.
Was it machine gun? Was it hand done?
I don't know about the head, but everything I do is hand done. And the ears ended up kind of coming loose after that first con that following year, and I decided I'll learn how to sew. And I tried and figured out how to do it, but not very well. And then Blue taught me when making Presto how to sew properly, and no, I wouldn't say I'm professional, but I'm pretty good. But that is 2.0, and as far as the design goes, I did actually design the G.O.H, so it was really interesting seeing my creation come to life for the first time ever. It brought me a lot of joy and a lot of pride. I still get a lot of pride when he gets compliments on the suit.
Do you foresee yourself maybe doing another one? I'm not saying like as a matter of commission. I'm literally saying as do you see it as something that you maybe might do with that in the future? You know, it's like, hey, I might do like another one like for me, like as a side project thing for for Grizz.
Speaking of, actually later this year I'm going to be going to Denver, and I will be staying with my bud Argent of Doodle, and he's going to teach me how to do a bodysuit, and we're doing Presto's bodysuit. So eventually I might do some, but until I get up to Argent's work now, I don't think I'm ever going to take any more commissions.
What's the genuinely interested on this one? What's the prospect in terms of the suit for Presto? Is it digi or
it's a digigrade, and we have a couple of unique design aspects to it.
Okay, like what?
Well, for one, there's 3 fans in here, and the hair is magnetic, so it's easily stored. The hands here go all the way up to my shoulders, and I can slip out my actual hands, and it looks like it's covering it even if I'm just using my phone. The feet paws we have designed but not finished, and what they are they are completely on the back. It's just a zipper. You slide them on like a slipper, zip it up, and it holds. And they're going to go up to my right beneath my ankle. The top, and what it's going to allow us to do with a little bit of Velcro on the back as well is make it digi or plantigrade, depending on what we want. Same with the bodysuit, which is going to come down to my knee and up to my shoulder, because these hand paws actually go all the way up to my armpit.
Oh, jeez.
We've been working on designing the suits for a little while now. I found I really enjoy figuring out how this stuff works.
Yeah, like reverse engineering it.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's probably some of the fun stuff that, for those that really would apply to, it's probably some of the fun stuff that you can do.
It's like working on a game, except for I can just draw everything and I don't have to worry about programming. It's nice.
Less syntax errors.
Yes. Less page not found and your code's broken.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, now I have to go ahead and do all this reading to figure out where I missed a period.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I am glad I don't have to deal with that much anymore.
So I really only have one question for you, but it's not drink related. I want to go ahead. I want to give you a huge thanks first off for coming up, being part of this, being short notice. You were probably one of the tougher ones because you don't have a massive footprint. What tipped me off, and I will give this away. What tipped me off in terms of finding your Facebook is that one of your old pictures that you had on DeviantArt, which I actually have a whole document file on my Google Drive of all the different screenshots, and I have that picture.
I'm not taking it down.
Huh?
I'm not going to take it down.
You're fine. You're totally fine there, but you signed it with your name.
Yeah.
And that is what tipped me off. I went ahead and I did a search on that for shits and grins going, maybe this is it. And that was the profile picture I found on your Facebook, and I knew this was my win. And I could go off of that.
Believe it or not, I still have that art piece.
Really?
I thought about doing a restand and redrawing it. But I like going back to my, I have all of my old work in a tote sitting in my bedroom.
It's always fascinating to be able to go back and when you redo old stuff, you go, wow, I made huge progress. And this is myself. There's some old sketches of some art that I had where I was like, man, if I redo this, I'd be a lot better, but I'm not going to try it because I know that is not my wheelhouse. So I want to go ahead and I want to move on to the absolute last question, which is, go ahead and pick yourself. Where can they find you? Talk. You got 60 seconds. Pick yourself out.
All right, I am on Twitter at Gavin Dragon. That Twitter account is run by me and my friend Artie, and we post about my current whereabouts and what I'm doing, and also my stream links on YouTube. My YouTube is youtube.com/@GavinDragonYT. I've been chilling that out for a while. We are getting really close to 1,000 subs, and my main goal is to make it my main job, so that way then I don't have to worry as much. Because I love entertaining, and I love drawing, and I love doing all this stuff for everybody.
What did you ask for, laptop? Sorry, not you. Oh wow, that's YouTube or not YouTube. That's promising. You got a new subscriber. Thank you, laptop, and thank you, Spider11666.
Oh boy.
Aren't you glad you got the shout out?
Yeah, but from there you can from the YouTube you can find basically all of my Telegram art dump, Discord, and everything else. And if you ever want to commission, feel free to bug me. I had a lot of fun doing the poster, even if I was a bit all over the place while doing it.
Hey, that's not a problem. It was an absolute joy to have you doing that artwork itself, which I actually have several copies. So you know how I actually had you and Yahve doing a bunch of these signings. Now some of this was absolutely intentional because there's going to be versions of these that are actually up for auction. That's going to be done right before the cameras off portion. Because there's a couple other parts in there that I'm going to be mentioning as well. But it is a signed 100-pound gloss version of this promo poster. It's obviously signed by everyone. So this is one of the gifts that I give my panelists as a part of being up here, and to give you the opportunity to have a bit of a spotlight to come up on stage so that people can, and particularly the cameras off portion, to ask you further questions, get up here and have your shot of being up here and getting seen. Because honestly, your digital artwork is actually really good. And when Stas actually gave me the prompt to use you as the guest artist, and I checked you out, our digital art was really good, and I said, yes, I'm 1,000% getting you, for sure.
Well, if you ever want me to do it again, I'm absolutely down to draw.
I would happily commission you and do that. So, this is a gift from myself and Yahve to you. Everyone, please give Presto a round of applause for moving all the way through. So, we're really touched about it. We actually going to stay up here. Oh boy.
Start yelling.
No, not quite going to go out loud. We're going to be standing up here. I'm just going to have you scooch over to the side because now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring up our main target, if you will. She's already bobbing her head. She's been running around with her head cut off the entire con, way too tired, not enough caffeine. Please give a round of applause for Yahve, one of the guests along here at AnthrOhio. This is going to be particularly fun because you went ahead. This is a unique situation because you actually you don't drink, so we're kind of running at a little bit of a disadvantage there. But you also have various food allergies, so my usual fallback is going with hot sauce. Those who know of Hot Ones, the glorious and terrifying YouTube channel, are familiar with that. I would normally do hot sauce, but you have a couple of different food allergies that we can't do that. Doesn't mean I'm still not going to make it spicy, and I had, because I didn't want to cause any problems with food allergies, I had you pick out your poison. This very much is like the old school, like, son, go out in the back and grab the switch, we'll beat you with it. Very much old school vibe to that one. You went ahead and you snagged yourself a couple of peppers.
Yes. I have jalapenos and habaneros. I am a massive spice one, so that's as much as I physically could probably handle.
Yep. And I'm going off this blind, and it's probably just barely out of reach. Yeah. I was just barely missing it. So, I'm not trying to kill you.
We're bestie friends.
Yes, you do have.
Milk really doesn't help.
I've got bread too.
Give her false hope.
Oh boy.
So you probably see it from there in Presto Bunny. You may or may not need to lean back a bit to make sure that you can see it. Yeah, that's good. So which part's making you face palm?
The selfies. Oh my god. Hold on. Oh, that's my baby.
It's. Oh no. So, Yahve Anne, I'm going to let that sit there for a bit. So, there's 3 pictures up here. One, which is actually you taking a very stone cold selfie of what looks like you in, I think it was like Rengar dog armor, or something of that capacity. A horror fursuit of some capacity, which we will touch on. We don't need to speak quite yet. Okay.
Who are you pulling from our head now? Don't go to the other kind. No, now. You don't want it.
And then I'll be on time.
Don't go to the habanero. You won't like yourself.
Yeah, no, we're going to stick with the one for now. We're going to gauge it by ear. Again, we're making it spicy to make it a little bit more tough for you. We're trying not to get you killed.
Do you have water? Do you have water, sir?
There's some here.
Yeah.
I got some here too. Yeah, you can have some stuff.
I can't help myself around sweetness.
Not the precious. I don't know if I should finish that statement. Precious white liquid. That would, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna let that sit.
Plus, you do what you want.
So if you make your starter accounts being your Twitter, which is the default that I use for pretty much everyone, unless somehow someone is not on Twitter, which give it a few months, might not be the rule anymore. You gave me your TikTok and you gave me your aminoapps.com. As you go through here, as we go through this, I think you will find a lot of interesting content in this.
That's not on any of the above. Yeah.
So we already did the one. We got ourselves a very interesting first start here. There's 2 pictures in particular. I ran it by your family to make sure I was getting some of the facts straight. The left one actually is the stages of the Yahve suit that you made right before you furred them, which really looks just like a really good at-home version of Bonnie the Bunny from FNAF.
Yeah, it did look that way before the fur went on it, but the bunny was actually my first fursuit ever.
Yeah, that's actually what I had as well for my research. And when I found that, I was just like, and I'm back to the FNAF nightmares back when I was in college. Great. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just gonna see Yahve Anne going like, ah!
Don't even get me started on FNAF.
Too much Rule 34.
I can't stand the games. There are time. I hate games.
If you think that's bad, you should see it now. It's upstairs. It looks horrible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out of retirement just for the weekend.
Did damage or something?
I was doing a fursuit making tips and tricks, and I figured I needed examples, so I picked number 1 and the most recent one I still have.
Alright. I definitely need to get pictures of that one for our blooming friendship as things get worse throughout the night. Because if I can see it here, Presto, I'm actually going to default to you because my angle is tight and sucks. What's that Twitter say?
Hang on.
I'm a strong, independent nutsack. You don't need no balls.
Decided to defer everything until I have everything hard and ready to go.
Okay, so that was the Twitter contest that you had for that photo. But the one that really caught my eye was this one that's on the right. It was from Instagram about 6.5 years ago, and this was January 26, 2017. This was Splatter the Duchy. But with that, I'm actually going to go to the second page here because this was right before furring, and this is what it actually turned into, which is extremely impressive. Which suit number was this for you?
Okay, it was
Yeah, your fourth suit, and you're doing something as detailed as that?
The fur was already put together. It was just from Joanne's.
Oh, so it was like pre-made like that in that pattern?
Yeah. It still took me a month to match the patterns, though.
That's brutal. But I bring that up because as someone who made their own suit, as someone else who also made their suit up here, the Presto, actually making a couple of them and actually in the works of making your own too. What is the biggest lesson that you learned from it? Because there's something else that I want to tack on to regarding your first suit making history, as we'll call it. But I want to know what's the most memorable lesson that you learned as you were going through this process.
Patience. Don't half-ass things. There are several suits that you will never see on the internet simply because they are such shit.
Suits of yours that were such shit, or?
Mine.
Okay.
They have seen the light of day maybe once and never again.
Were they personal projects of yours, or? Okay. I wonder if any of those have the ones I might pull.
Probably.
Potentially.
What if I take the head and then just take it through each of the shadows, going shadow to shadow instead of into the daylight?
We'll talk.
I'm not, you're still fine from that one, so I'm not going to have you do another one. You're still struggle busting with it. We're going to keep maintaining this level. Actually, something that I learned from Lynn Q, one of the other panelists that I actually had here, or not here, but in the early days when we run this panel, she used a scale system of like 1 to 10 in terms of levels of drunk. The key number was like 7, like I'm at a good level of intoxication. If I do more, it's a bad idea. You want her goals always to be sitting at like a 5 or 7, at least in terms of heat though. Where do you feel like you're at?
Still 1 to 5.
1 to 10.
10, probably a 6.
We're going to run with it. We're going to keep this heat as we're sitting at. We got question 2 here. Presto, lean back for me. What in the fuck?
Oh, that was a basketball challenge.
Yeah, you've done several.
Yeah.
What is this nightmare fuel?
This was when Massimals were actually just coming out of Walmart, and they were rather controversial at the time. So we figured if people are going to bitch about it, I might as well give them something to look at. So this was born along with a couple other zombies.
Because it was actually the very beginning of this, that absolute first one, just going back as a reference point. Sonicorn?
That's Mom.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's philosophy.
I had the bear at the time, and she had the unicorn. And then my sister stole it, and I haven't seen it since.
Permanently borrowed, as I like to say.
Yeah, she actually made that one of her personas. And she still uses it.
Really?
Yeah, she just didn't bring it this weekend because we didn't have room.
Come on, you can't bring it not bad to. How many of these have you done?
Okay, so there's Zombie Bear, Zombie Unicorn, Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, was there more than that? I think there was more than that. We just didn't finish them. There's like 3 or 4 others that we didn't finish. But there's the 3 big ones.
Yeah. Ones that have seen the light of day.
So much regret.
The regret of the
You're the one who accepted this, which actually is additional context for folks to get a little bit more of a breather. So I gave a proposal to Yahve about being the guest of Sloshing for Answers about a month and a half ago. And it was about 5 hours after I found out that my panel had a high chance of being accepted. You were assuming that this was going to be happening about a year later.
Indeed, I had intended on finding other solutions to our problem, but this is as good as it gets.
Yeah, so instead of a 1 year turnaround, it was a month, and you were not prepared for a 1 month turnaround of being on Sloshing.
You're lucky we stopped at Double Chips on the way.
If not, I would have made a stop to figure something out myself, and you would have been at my mercy.
Don't eat the seeds. You don't.
Too late.
Eat the seeds.
Too small. What are you saying?
Eat the seeds.
Is it 4 or 5?
Just a second, I'm trying to squeeze some seeds out.
Oh, baby.
Honestly,
That's not how you do it.
if I were to cut up the peppers for you, get all the seeds out for it.
Hey, this is actually very effective.
I mean, I'm sure it is.
Yes, he's smacking.
Then you have little slivers that you instead of.
The thing is, I used to work at a pretzel place that did jalapeno cheese pizzas. I used to eat that shit daily, but it's been 2 years since then. So my head is zero. Okay, let's
You want to go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a light?
That was bigger than even I was expecting.
Yeah. Oh, I'm applauding you with my elbow here, and good lord, I was not expecting you to take that kind of bite. You could have made this like a chair with that heat.
the seeds. No seeds, now fun.
Oh, so now this is how much you're cheating. But where are you sitting though? Number-wise.
You could always just make
That's
really
what we're about to make now.
That's what you're about to make now. Alright, never mind. I'll take that.
We could always make fancy brownies.
So, I have reversed your biggest fear discovering you were furry, because from what I could find, this specific Twitter account was just, it's official, I'm a furry, pretty much if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Obviously you had a moment, but the biggest thing that's hitting me up on here, and this is why I'm asking it, is because there's Twitter activity that you had before this tweet. So I have to ask, did you know about furries prior to this tweet, and how long, and what was the reflection of them? Because I feel like there was, and this is why I'm asking, I feel like there was at some point a time in your life where you could have been on the spectrum of, man, fur's weird, and then you go to a point and go, damn it, I'm a fur.
Not necessarily, actually. My furry upbringing was actually quite strange. In the years before this, we were actually going to Art Prize, which was the world's largest street art show in Michigan. And they would always have a fur meet there. I would see them every year, but I thought they were an exhibit. So it was like 4 or 5 years of seeing them before I was at a cosplay meetup for all things, where I met Steven over in Cherryville, Indiana. Big fluffy red dragon came with the shaggy do, or scrappy do. I can use English. Cosplayer, and that was my first contact with furries, like probably 2 weeks before the tweet. Yeah. So yeah. Before that, I was an animator. I had never heard of furries other than seeing them in that context of giant art dirt show.
Is there someone that was probably like the biggest inspiration to maintain into furry community?
After meeting Steven and him actually explaining it to me, I slowly stumbled down the rabbit hole of Silvergatamon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Cameraman in front.
Yeah, it was Silvergatamon, watching all of AnthrOhio, Pandas, all their story hours, and we liked it anyways. I was listening to them so freaking much I could work with them, and did. Yes. Multiple times. I don't know if this is actually the next question. But terrible against the fire. Oh, I got myself a baseball. That means I'm on some good stuff. This is from 4 years prior to knowing you were allegedly based off of that Twitter post I mentioned in the last batch. That is still not old school art, but I'm 31 and that's still the type of quality that I would crack out. I do not give myself any credit for being an artist. Yeah, I got it.
The calling off the spice of eyes.
Oh, I'm fine. I was spraying myself multiple times before. Bet you didn't know that one, ha!
Hold on. What would you tell? I see that, and it actually brought a lot of memories of my own furry awakening. And it was something actually that was brought up kind of in one of the other panels about, being in this family. With this being 4 years wired to another tweet, if you were to go as your current self right now, you have yourself, now that you've been
I would have told myself to get a lot sooner. Make up for lost time. Because these people are my family now. I mean, I'm close to a lot of these people than my actual family. Yeah. So, yeah.
Show favorites to the people that aren't blood related. Show favorites to the people that aren't blood related. Just a little bit. How are you at on your spice level?
I'm down to about 5.
Okay. Not that one. I want you to take a small bite of the other one.
Small.
I said small. Outside. Because we're at the thing, which is Spitfire. So, there's part of the reason why not sounds about a week. There's going to be a delay.
Oh yeah, it's a delay.
Oh, there it is! So, Spitfire, in this case, you're doing about already. You're only going to go and do this voice because you saw Presto Bunny. Okay. No, you don't show it.
The amount of vibrations is already ready to go again.
Red.
Give me some time to settle.
15.
Okay, cool. I have no intention of making you take another bite of anything, because I want you to stay alive. Because we still have seconds after that. It's also some of the tradition I do is that, I hit some more like sentimental style of questions, and the early parts of the question of my special guest. It's after Spitfire, these are really good fun. But we obviously have Spitfire itself. She mentioned. Again, we're going with a non-thinking type of question, which we're trying to make this quick, get you just a raw answer out of you. If you do take the scapegoat, it still comes towards you currently or at 0. And we're going to go into that first one. Your local first brush. And you are yes, right.
Local first crush. I don't think I have one. Someone I really admire is Steve. Steve. Yeah.
You guys, Steve Ed, you got your national program, someone that is not from your home state, but still in the U.S.
There is, I'm not sure if they're from the U.S., to be honest. I've never actually heard them speak, so kind of confused. There is a blue kimono bunny suit that I saw like every year at AC when we went there. I don't know their name. Do you remember, Mom? I think I've seen it. Sherbert! There it is.
If someone knows who Sherbert is out there in the audience, holler out and know where Say again?
Sherbert's an American, but also voice actor.
Sherbert's an American. We got international level now, so like non-US. Okay. So you know what this is going. We got 5 here Pokemon's doing.
Very sure.
Version, which is the Legacy Edition. If I'm able to read it from here, that is Boozy, Alkali, and Status. I believe this is the special guest version specifically. Taking myself out of the mix. Oh wait, no. Is that me? That's on there?
It's Status.
Okay, yes, so we'll stick with that. The sound still hasn't shown up in here. I was really hoping it would.
You just missed him.
Oh, no, I don't care. We got Boozy, Alkali, and Status. Well, we got
Kill Status. They're probably begging for death right now.
Yeah, it's just a very long sleep.
I fuck Boozy and every alcohol.
Alkali gets out alive somehow. For now.
Well, that was hard to take.
So we got our last culinary program. We got the Legacy Artist Edition. So it's the last set of artists that I had on here. So I had Shorn, which was the guest that I had at Motor City FurCon this year. I had Game Over, that was 2022. No, 2021, because I was the victim in 2022. 2021's guest, and then what would have been 2019 Motor City FurCon, which is Udician, or Uni as he's referred to. He was one of the guest artists there. Do you know who Uni is off the top of your head?
The only one I know on that is Game Over.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not good about keeping up with the interwebs. I put my lips together and it burns. But of those, I'd probably marry Game Over, fuck Shorn, and kill the other one.
I'll take it. But I'm going to give you a second to breathe here. First off, she's halfway through here. First off, barely alive. Thank you so much, y'all, for making it this far. We still have another 5 questions. It is way more difficult from here on out because now I start really revealing the darker parts of the things that I found from my research. You have a little bit of hint of what happened there. Finding out just from someone else that's out there, the album, probably below people. But also I got feedback from those same people about stories I could ask you about, including Status. I just want to think people or the hate I feel. But then also, I got 1 or 2 things that show how deep I got into the search. So we're going to hit on for that next question. Right before I do that, I just want to remind everyone that actually, when we get done with Yahve, I got a charity auction actually that I'm doing here. I've got 2 sets. I've got there's exclusive items in each one of them. There's content that's provided by myself, some of my own personal work that I do, because I do leather work on the side as a side gig. So I've got, one of them has a personal leather item that I actually ended up making. That's in that kit. There's signed panel posters in there. There's exclusive content that was from past years of Sloshing for Answers that are part of that kit too. One of them has a t-shirt from one of the very first few of the first mystery boxes actually that ever got released. Years ago. It was not kind of style I stepped out onto it. I think there's something to appreciate. So this is your style. That's out there as well. It's all-encompassing kit. And one of them actually has a short novel in here that I actually got imagining from someone in the community itself. So I think it's probably some of the bigger kits that we made for Sloshing for Answers. So I think it's something that our audience might actually really appreciate with the content we got. And actually, one of them is some exclusive art that was traditional done, right? From you, Yahve?
No, those are all prints.
Okay, so there's prints that you ended up doing. I think I got something from Presto in there. If not, there is something. Yes, one of them has an exclusive piece of content from you in there. If I remember correctly, because my memory is so fuzzy from everything. If not, I do know where it is for sure and where it's involved. Content from myself, content from Yahve. Other exclusive stuff, honestly, I think it's probably some of the better kits that we've had here. So let's move on for that next question.
destined to get a bad name.
I'm just gonna go with these pictures.
I have been laughing at those images for years.
They're so great. Someone doesn't like Disney World. Disney World! Disney World! I was told by a family member that you don't like Disney. That it was a time that you were out there at Disney World and you were crying and bitching the entire time.
That was a long time ago, bitch. I am a full bitch. I cannot do what and this is also before we discovered a lot of my medical issues. So I can jostle around and my spine, which is basically a corkscrew, medically speaking. Yeah, I was just in a lot of pain, and yeah, it's not. I don't do well with any kind of amusement parks, just for the simple fact of pain.
Yeah, because amusement park, I think it's too hard. We're walking too much.
Oh yeah.
When you're at Disney in Florida.
Yeah, that was just a lot of undiagnosed medical issues that finally found the reason why everything was very fucked up.
I like to get one story on that. It's like, Disney, I need to know more on this one.
Yeah, it's like that with all amusement parks. They do nothing for me. Maybe a Presto all day, but amusement park? Just nothing.
I will go on to the next question then. This one's a little bit of a reading, but I'm going to find this one. You were a contest winner at a baking event in Chicago, and you got posted to Chicago Tribute, and you took, I think it was top prize in a category or two. Tell me more about that. What was that experience like?
That was a Valentine's Day chocolate pie baking contest. Culinary Art Gallery in Hammond doesn't appear. I had no idea that it was going to be published in the paper. But I have a history of cake decorating, baking, a lot of baked goods and sweets. And that happened to be one of them.
Sorry, I'm staying aside for 2 seconds.
That's okay.
Well, if you want, I have a small Disney World story to go back to the other topic, which is really funny. I went to Disney World once, and my dad decided the line was too long, and he wanted to go on the ride multiple times. We went down Splash Mountain 5 times. My shirt went from a large to a 6XL in like 3 trips.
Do you still have that shirt though?
No, I was way too young. My dad might.
Sorry, I had to slow down to something else. How long ago was that of you in the debate contest?
That was the year before the program. It was probably 2019? 2018? Something like that? 2019?
I don't even know the contest that you took that prize from. Because you were several categories or was just one?
2030?
2030?
Yeah.
To
be honest, it was kind of cheap because only 3 people did the baked pies for the first category because there's baked and non-baked pies. I was one of 3 for the baked pies, and then the overall one was a bit of a surprise. So it was kind of funny because we are the ones that made the trophies.
So you made the trophies and then you won the trophy?
Yeah. It was a competition. Usually there's like 40 pies. That year it was a bit of a bust.
Still a bit of a. Yeah. It took me a long time to get to this one. found the legal name, but I actually found some better stuff, and that's what led actually to this picture of you doing the prize of the baking contest
I've given you a bunch of stuff.
You did! You stalker, you!
No, not stalkers. What was it?
Are you a private investigator IRL or something?
No, but I think I did have one person in comment sometime that like I was a raccoon in disguise underneath this. I'm not a raccoon in a trench coat, I'm a raccoon in a wolf suit. Like Sly Cooper, but like way darker.
How long ago was that? No, I mean the tweet, or whatever you found.
Oh no, there was, let's see, there was a date on there, that was, specifically, because it was the first group of men versus first group of men, back in Paris, so said it's not like that one. But, your Facebook was really interesting too, because I did find from there, you had a half K that you ran, as well.
A half K?
I'm pretty sure it was a half K.
Half marathon.
A half marathon. That was a half something. I promise it's only
Crazy. 13 miles.
Only a little bit. There may be a bit of a difference there fighting. I know I'm not always getting interviewed, but I'm working on it. From who was it? I don't know if it's on the tweet there, but then if it's not on there, I was definitely told you were not happy anytime you were out of that bunny suit for about 2 years. You refused to be anything other than that.
Indeed. I think we still have it in my closet somewhere. We do.
I think we have an idea for your next fursuit. Just record that.
Well, I already made Kinos, so that wouldn't be too far of a stretch. Then they're down that. No, but that one was a quarter D. I picked it funny. Rather easily, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, that was just another bunny, right? We're very close to it.
Rabbit from the waist up, deer from the waist down, and grandma's. Yeah, pretty much. So
I have the picture on Twitter. I just mailed it to you.
Oh, that was a sad over to me. For sure, yeah. They sent it over to me, so I can easily just pop it up and throw it over into the projector here. Let's see, up in the upper right-hand corner there, there's a number on there that has a number of questions. I think I got a handful more. How are you sitting on heat?
I'd say about 4.
We're working on it. Alright, so there's something else to see. It's like a steering of a turbo. It's like a case of it gets there.
I really shouldn't have got raw. I should have just grabbed a can of them or something. That would be much easier to eat.
Got the peak of the doubt.
So that was I can find the house again. Yes, this one. Yes, I felt like this. The experiment of touching expensive art.
Is that the Prince story, or is that...
Tell us more.
I must know.
Well, if you're thinking the Prince story, when that one was in grad school, we went to an art exhibition. It was a private event where I think it was either a prince or a king of the Republic of the Congos was actually there, a prince. And we were like, oh God, I was more than a teenager at the time. And we were always taught, look with your eyes, not with your hands. This apparently upset the prince a lot. So he took us by the hand and made us touch the 6+ foot long golden coffin. Grabbed masks off the walls, handed it to us, much to the shock and horror of the gallery coordinators who put us to life. And yeah, we just about gave a couple of curators a heart attack. They were started having up. He was so upset he grabbed a bottle of alcohol and locked himself in his office for the rest of the night.
Go on, touch the corpse. Touch the corpse.
Oh, it wasn't used yet. It was his grandmother's to be used later.
I don't know why.
His brother was the king. Okay, it was the king's coffin that had yet to be used. And a very interesting life.
I have no idea how makes it better or worse.
Used? It's a giant lump of gold. I don't think I have or will ever see that much gold in my life ever again.
Things I heard about doors. It wasn't used yet. They made me touch it. It just wasn't used yet. We were wearing protection.
Oh no, there was no protection in that situation.
You were also not prepared to be forced to touch it.
Indeed.
By the
There was no food there though. It was an interesting night.
I got startled about that too. You had royalty grab your hands and go, touch her!
Indeed, yes. Me and my sister. Yes. We were the only two children in the room. It was quite strange, to be honest. Yeah.
I was sitting on 8.
Not 6.
I'm still just imagining you at like a booth or something, and I'm just like, touch the Mona Lisa!
Oh god. That's how you get body checked.
I mean, if the artist made you touch it, then you're supposed to touch it.
If I remember correctly, Velocity, you actually mentioned that curation of art actually from that whole event was like their families, curated art, like borderline personal museum, right?
World treasures.
Yeah, thousands of years of art that was being forced to be touched.
It was the British Museum's country.
There was a deep cut reference that I just got. It's terrible human being, I love it. Go ahead and do another, did you take another bite of a jalapeno from me or not? Did you take another bite of a jalapeno from me or not?
I can't. No, I'm going nut at this one. I can't feel a damn thing.
Just not at that bowl.
Hold on.
It's funny. Man, your sex ed class is terrible. Damn, you can put a nice smile over something. Fucking champ. So, for those that are still here, before we move on to the next question, one of the things that jogged my memory as a part of the charity auction kits that I have, I mentioned the scapegoat questions. The winners of those auction boxes that I had, there was a scapegoat question from England that when we put the chip to the actual people's off version, you can go ahead and ask a question to any of the panelists, and we cannot dodge it. We must answer it. There's a few exceptions to the rule that I will interject and say, no, I will not have them answer like where they live. You know, I'm not having them give their social security number. Like, there are exceptions to the rule. But, that even said, otherwise, if it's not really going to get that personal, that specific, like, borderline doxing, we have to answer a question for any of our panelists that are up here on stage. So, just watching you stuff your face here, like, running all the jokes in my head.
I misheard you and thought you said DOSing for a second. Now I'm thinking about old computer games.
Okay, so obviously you know what that is. I wonder what status does. I don't think status is in here. But I do remember what MS-DOS is. So let's move on to our next question. Do you know what this picture is? You guys press the pen here. If you get a better idea, I got it also here on my screen. Yep. eating the jalapenos on Napa. Still alive. I'll give you credit before it's due. You already see what that picture is, right?
It's a rock.
Yes.
I do not remember this rock.
You might not remember this rock, but there's a story involving a rock that I'm told you're relatively famous for. All I was told by status was for you to tell the rock story.
I need more context in that.
As I understand it, you were looking at a pump at a fur con regarding a rock, if I remember right. It was a donation, I think, of some capacity. If not, I'm going to give status a hard time about this one. You alright? No. I'm going to give you some more time to settle in on this hat size part for hot.
It's not just a boulder, it's a rock. The boulder just to ride this baby for miles.
Oh my god, how dare you with the SpongeBob reference.
Oh, I got more if you want. I've been quoting that one all week since Tears of the Kingdom came out.
It took me a second to really recognize that one. More water? Good. So I put whatever status is under the horizon on this one. There's a story regarding a rock in you at Oricon. You donated, I think it was like a hollow rock or something like that, with donation amounts on the inside. But it might have been something like that, velocity, you might be able to clarify this.
I remember this kind of.
Yeah, that's how to do his job now.
Wasn't it when Poker was wrapped? I believe it may be that one. Yeah. Giant turd poker, yeah. I think that is, yeah.
Sounds about right. All status on the site, that's about the rock. Like, okay.
You look like a rock when you were done with it. There's two different rocks.
She's going to actually check this with the Robert Boss, but that's an honor, because I would never, honestly, no one's been actually going through that spicy version. Actually, one person did a spicy version of it that was not really this intense. What I did is it was doing a box, actually. Did something of similar capacity using hot sauce. And even for him, like I would be really nice on the hot sauce, but he had a very low tolerance on me. Even with you having a low tolerance, Yahve, like you are in discomfort. Oh, we made it? Kind of?
For reality 2019. Was it wrapped up poker or was it the rock with the eyeball on it? It was the rock that stole my points. Oh, that wasn't me. That was the other people. No, that was definitely you. That was No, it was definitely you. I blatantly remember you walking up to me with a rock with googly eyes and going, please help the rock family feed its poor rock children.
We turned a giant rock into a points box, because we do that kind of stuff for reality when it still existed. And that was the Chaos Incorporated's box at the time, to basically cause chaos and fuck shit up. There is a second part to this story, where we wrapped Poker up like a giant turd rock at the after party. And put googly eyes on that too. Yeah.
I
didn't know the part two.
I love it. We had The Rock and we won all of the same con. I was holding up.
This sounds, you should grab Poker here for that one.
The Rock was great though. Like I kept rooting for The Rock every chance I got.
Oh man, I just realized that's that.
I forgot you were there.
I feel so bad that I don't go to these cons. I'm gonna get out more. I'm so glad that I can come out to AnthrOhio and mess with you. Every time I'm about to AnthrOhio, this is a riot. I'm concerned about the needs happening between us.
I'm at a constant 10.
Yes.
Let's keep going.
Yes. And then, actually, that was, I'm realizing, because that is your, not only your current, actually, it's probably one of the early versions of Yahve. I think it was the first one. That's actually the photo that they use for this con. And you said you're going to be retiring it soon then?
No, it was already retired. I pulled it out of retirement to bring it here for my fursuit making, or fursuit tips and tricks panel.
You planning on updating it then?
Oh yeah, I brought a base that I had blank, or a completely blank base. It literally has Yahve 2.0 written on the top.
There you go.
Yeah, just haven't had time.
That rock story is actually the last one I had from you, but I do have one other question for you. That's actually going to be the cameras out. It's going to be a special one that I actually give for our audience that's actually still here. Because I ended up finding out from there, assuming that is correct, your first flight was 2005, and only in the last couple, I think it was last decade, did you learn to swim? And we don't need to talk about that any further. We'll keep that to the game's off. That said, that's a nice segue into what we're doing. Put yourself out a little bit because you're the guest of honor here. You've already put yourself out a little bit. There was the email website, there was the Twitter that was on there. Where else can people find you?
The one who's most to TikTok, is at Yahve Anne, H-E-E, A-N-E. You can pretty much find me at Yahve Anne or at Yahve 1799 on all platforms that I love. It's not branding, only spice.
Yes. And that was currently the conclusion we have in the official interview segment. However, we do the charity auction here. What I want to do is, because it'll make my life easier as well, I'm actually going to kill the screen and kill the recording on here. I can take off the head, because one of the things that I do is that I try not to show my head, my actual face on stream. There literally is one exception to the rule. Actually, there's 3 exceptions to the rule. One of those is which is actually on that teaser trailer in there, and that's because I'm 31 years old and I was way too exhausted and I was not suiting at Varsity Burcon during that last Sloshing for Answers panel. That said, I otherwise try to keep my face hidden, so it's kind of a special treatment I always do for when I actually have comments. And people that come to the panel to actually get to actually see my face, that really slowly got more and more. A little bit loose over the years, because Silver Radon keeps recording me on main stage. But I can't force you anything, that's on me. So we're going to stop the recording here, and we're going to do the charity auction. I've got